Sandra from Asexualize My Asexual Life. This is supposed to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now, so you get notified of every time I post a new video. So in today's video, we're going to discuss intelligence attraction, intelligence stimuli, and sapio asexual, all coming up. So if you don't know who I am author Sandra Bellamy. This is my book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories. So if you're new to asexuality or the asexual spectrum, you've got loads of burning questions, please do check out the book. I'd encourage you to get a copy, and that'll give you a lot more insight into the asexual spectrum and asexuality in general in regards to all questions you might want to ask about love, life and sex. So let's discuss. So what's been happening in my life, right? So if you remember one of the other previous videos I did, I told you that a Pakistan guy got back in touch with me, right? I'm not going to say too much other than he cancelled our date, and that was because he got a new job. He never offered to reschedule, and things on that front have really tapered off now. It's not like, you know, he's interested in me romantically, I don't think, anymore. You know, that's not the type of a person in terms of action and in terms of, like, you know, really caring about me and that type of thing. That it's more like just a conversation that you'd have with an acquaintance type person, if you know what I mean. It's gone to that type of level now. So before it was much more flowing conversation, now it's more like, it's nice, they still message me daily, which is nice, but clearly this person's not going to be the right person for me because they're not that into me, you know, and that's fine. That's good. At least I know now rather than later. So this is brilliant. But so I'm still on the lookout for my beautiful Indian guy. And I have to say, there's an Indian guy, entrepreneur, that I connected to a few days ago. And I just thought he'd be a really nice person to talk to. And he was, right? And no, he's in India. And no, we can't be in a relationship because he's over there. And our paths have just crossed in kind of an entrepreneurial, supportive, nice manner, right? And yes, he's damn gorgeous. He's got a beautiful soul. He's really lovely to talk to. He's amazing. He runs his own business and got like 30 people working for him. And he is an absolute incredible, beautiful soul. Now, if I kind of look at the conversation I have with the Pakistani guy, it's like I said, it's a lot more like basic talk now. It's more like, hi, how are you doing? I'm fine. How are you? How's your day? This type of thing. So it's not really flowing, in-depth, deep, intellectual conversation, right? Which is what I need. Like, if I'm getting into a relationship or potential relationship with someone, I need deep, intellectual, stimulating conversation. Like backwards and forwards, flowing, a person taking a lot of interest in what I'm saying, me taking interest in what they're saying, wanting to be in each other's lives, wanting to encourage the other person. You know, and if someone's romantically interested in me, or if you're romantically interested in someone, you'd be messaging them a lot more and really wanting to be in their life and show up for them and, you know, like really want to get to know them and really care about them, right? When you're quiet, you'd be wanting to spend time with them, right? So I haven't met that guy yet, okay? But intelligence attraction is when you're attracted to someone because of their intelligence. So for me, just want to say, for me, that means like in the way they talk to me, like what they talk about. Can they talk about anything and everything? Can they hold a conversation? Are they interesting person to talk to? So for me, intelligence is all about how much they talk to me, what they talk to me about, the depth of what they talk to me about. Can they talk to me about anything and everything? Are they quite knowledgeable about, like, for example, entrepreneurship, spirituality, business stuff, IT, this type of thing? This is what intelligence attraction means to me. So intelligence attraction can mean different things to different people, right? There's no one size fits all. So someone who's sapiosexual is someone who's attracted to someone sexually because of their intellect, because of their intelligence. I'm sapio-asexual because I'm attracted to someone who is intelligent but in an asexual way. So for me, it makes me more attracted to them. It makes me want to talk to them more. Makes me want, if they're good looking, it makes me want to kiss them more. It makes me want to be in their life more. It makes me want to have more conversations. It makes me feel good about myself in their presence. It makes me feel alive and energized. And I feel they're a much more lived and energized person. So it ultimately makes a more attractive person, right? So if you kind of compare the conversation I'm having with a Pakistani guy now, which is mostly like basic language, like you'd say to an old acquaintance or something, or maybe just like basic talk, not all the time, but most of the time, it's kind of like going through the motions. If you compare that to the entrepreneur guy I was talking about, like the entrepreneur guy is just like really cares about me, even though he doesn't even know me. I mean, I don't expect we'll keep talking that much. He's got business to run. He's got 30 people underneath him. And, I've told him some stuff about me that I trust him with. But maybe, it's not all positive, glorious stuff that, he was hoping for. Like, obviously, I've got a broken ankle and stuff like that. But people who are meant to stay in your life will always appreciate you no matter what you're going through. I've always got a positive outlook no matter what's happening to me, usually the majority of the time. Not always. I mean, I do have some days are off, right? But overall, So I always say that your current circumstances do not dictate your future, and anything can change in a heartbeat for the better forever, right? So I'm always like that, in general. When I say always, there's I'm not saying I'm perfect or there isn't any times, but in the majority of cases, I should rephrase that, So, I just thought it was wonderful that the entrepreneur guy spent some time with me, considering he's got 30 people underneath him, whereas the other guy, he's not so busy, yet he's not got as much time for me. So, that's fine. It just means that obviously the Pakistani guy is definitely not suitable for a relationship for me. And I'm glad I know that now, because he wouldn't be fulfilling my needs, and the level of intellect just wouldn't be there, And so for me, because when my intelligence is like I said, talking about business, talking about, the world, life, anything and everything, talking about some spiritual stuff, law of attraction stuff, maybe, so that doesn't mean to say the Pakistani guy might not be suitable for someone else. He might like talking about other things that another person might find really intellectual and stimulating. He might talk a lot more to other people, probably does, than me, because I don't think he's really that interested in me in a relationship anymore, which is fine. Rather just probably someone to talk to, like to keep in contact with, maybe, so that's the kind of vibe I get now. But that's okay, different people suit different people. So that's great, at least I know. And I really want to be with an Indian guy so much, and I want to be with a clean shaven guy. Like, I can't be dealing with beards. It just makes me feel like, ugh. I know other people have different opinions, but I just don't like facial hair. It really puts me off. It's like a bush. It makes a guy look a lot older. It's like, I don't want to be with someone who looks like my dad. I want to be with a young, fresh looking faced guy, boy next door type, who's like really aesthetically attractive to me, who I love spending time with, and who loves talking to me and spending time with me, who sees my intelligence, sees my good qualities, sees a lot of stuff in me, and who really wants to engage in conversation like a lot with me, and who likes talking and spending his time with me, That's the type of person I need. And it's really sweet, because the Indian guy I was talking to, the entrepreneur, I was talking to him about different things, and he said, oh, don't ever accept second best. Like, don't accept anything less than what you deserve, not even 1% less than what you deserve. And I thought that was so sweet. I've always told you on this show that Indian guys tend to show up in my life to help me out in certain situations, even if I don't know them, right? And I kind of think this entrepreneur guy just did that, he was like putting things into perspective, treating me with a lot of like interest and stuff, and just really nice to talk to him. I would like to talk to him again, but I think probably, as we live in different countries and stuff, and he's got his own life busy, and I just think probably that won't happen much again. But we'll still stay connected, so that'll be nice, and I'll keep looking for my guy for a relationship. It's important I find the right guy for me. When you think about getting into a relationship, I don't do short-term or casual relationships, as you know. It's important that I have this, the guy that really is good for me, really adores me, really loves spending loads of time with me, really loves deep and meaningful conversations. Like, I need intelligent stimulus. So as sexual people need sexual stimulus, they experience sexual attraction, they want sex, it kind of stimulates them. I need intelligence stimulus. I need intellect. I need talking. I need someone to be, someone to give me lots of deep and meaningful conversations, be an interesting person to talk to, not small talk, not like, hi, how are you? I'm fine, thanks, how are you? I'm okay. I need someone who gives me insight into their world as well, who wants to tell me about their life, and what they get up to. If you're having to ask someone all the time, you know, rather than them sharing information naturally with you. It can be a bit strained. Like, I like flowing conversation. I like to be asked questions. I like to ask people questions. That's what you should do. You should always have a balance of asking them questions, them asking you questions. It is very important. I've learned more and more that some people do need to be asked more questions. Some people do like to be asked more questions. So I appreciate that. I learned that from a friend recently, right? I'm not talking about these people. I'm talking about another friend, right? So a person like, you know, so some people don't like talking about themselves that much, you know? And I thought this friend didn't like them talking about themselves as much and didn't like talking so much. But I found the opposite, that they wanted me to ask them more. So I think you have to get a balance of asking people more questions about themselves. I think that's really, really important. I like to be asked about myself, because this person wasn't really asking, you know, like one of the people wasn't really asking me much about myself anymore like they used to. But I also think you've got to have some kind of flowing conversation where like, oh hi, like, oh yeah, I did this today, or I did that today. You know, you've got to have a bit of a balance, so it's flowing like a river conversation, and you know, it should be flowing like a river. So you know, like you're offering something, because otherwise, if you keep asking the questions all the time yourself, it's like, are you actually interested in me? And if you're the person who doesn't give anything of yourself away to someone else, doesn't share with other people, it's kind of like means you have to, I don't know, it's a bit strained either way. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's important to get balance. But I mean, communication is something that's learned. You know, I'm still trying to improve myself all the time. Like I said, I've tried to ask one of my friends more questions recently because they really want me to. And I find that some people, you know, are different to others. Of course, that's a bit of an understatement. But what I mean to say is, like, I could get one person who doesn't really like talking about themselves that much. They'd be like less inclined to be happy with me asking them questions, and I get another friend who's like, oh, I want you to ask me more questions because I feel like you're taking more interest in me. So I think it really depends on the individual. But I think if you start a conversation off where it's backwards and flowing and you're really into talking to each other, and then it tapers off, something's not quite right there, you know? Because why should you go for a really good thing to something that's not so good or adequate or sufficient? It's not too good. So you have to kind of check that and think, okay, well, it's good, but it's not as good as it used to be. So you kind of like, romantically, for example, I need someone who's really intellectual, making lots of deep and meaningful conversation. Like I said, I'm very intellectually stimulating. I need a lot of deep and meaningful conversations and things, you know, reflect on life and you know, like seeing things in a different way. You know, I think really I need someone who's into personal and professional development like me, who's into self-development, who can share their thoughts on things, and we can kind of like, you know, kind of like explore those things together. Like when you're on the personal and professional development journey, it's important you get someone else on that too, because then they're going to be more flexible, they're going to be more adaptable, they're going to be more willing to change in a good way, willing to grow with you as a person, willing to see their faults more, or to see that they could need to change. They're more willing to want to make change. They're more willing to grow and help you grow and support you and be there for you and be really into you. Like, you can tell when someone's really into you. Like, I've got people on my Facebook page and they're like constantly looking at my posts, looking at my pictures. You know, you can tell those people really like following me, they're interested in me, right? Then you get other people that say they really like me or show interest, yet they're not even liking my posts or liking my pictures. It's like, well, if I like a guy, I'm like kind of like looking at his posts, looking at his pictures, showing some interest, you know, because I want to be there, you know? So I think you've got to look at the signs of whether someone's into you or not into you. And you've just got to follow your dreams and your heart. And if you need intelligent conversation, if you need intelligent stimulus, and you know that you're not getting it from certain people, you know, then you know, if you're looking for a relationship and you're intelligently attracted, and intelligence attraction is something you need, and stimulus is what you need, intelligent stimulus, you're going to have to make sure that the person you get with is good at having conversation, is good at talking about the world, planet, universe, anything and everything, you know? Because, you know, like I find quite a lot of sexuals, not all of them, quite a lot of them as well, they kind of like, because they're more focused on relationships in terms of physicality, you know, sexual attraction, they have kind of less some of them have less development in the areas of intellect and stuff because they're kind of focused on getting a normal job, having sex, marriage, and kids, you know. But there's also a lot of sexuals that I'm connected to on Facebook. They're entrepreneurs that are really, really good and living different lives. And, you know, I just think it's very riveting, you know. I've always been the type of girl that likes to kind of like explore situations and chat about the world, planet, universe, anything and everything, and just explore things together and, you know, just have really good flowing conversations. And I find website building really intelligent. Like, I build websites, but not with code. So if a guy can code, oh my God, I just so want to kiss him. I just so want to listen to him. Like, many women would get bored with that type of conversation. It's like, why are you telling me about coding websites? Whereas I want to hear that. Kind of quite a few women might get bored also with business. Some women, you know, but there's a lot of proportion of women that get more and more into business now. But I love talking about business. I'm really into it, you know. So I think that's really good, you know. I think, you know, you have to weigh up, whereas some people are just always meant to be your friend or an acquaintance, and other people are meant to be more to you. So I just think you have to kind of weigh up, especially if you're looking to date or have a relationship, you have to weigh up what you really need. And if you are sapio asexual and you get attracted intelligently to people and you really need intellectual stimulus, then you're going to have to find someone who gives you that, because else you're going to you're going to get bored in the relationship. You're going to be like thinking, is this it? How am I being stimulated? You're going to have to find your own stimulus, which is fine because I can do that. But I do need a guy who's going to intellectually stimulate me as well. Not someone who's just going to come home and watch the TV or, you know, be flicking through his phone when I'm talking to him, you know, and stuff like that. And, you know, like, it's much better to pay attention to the person in front of you while they're alive and here than it is to just keep living in a offline. I mean, in a online world, it's better to have someone, you know, like, focusing on you. Like, if all they're doing is wasting hours flicking through news feeds, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like you've got a real person in front of you. Why aren't you talking to them, you know? Probably because they're talking to loads of other women and people. But, you know, what I'm saying is, it's, you know, people these days, they pay so much more attention to online stuff than they do about the person in front of them, you know. You need to be, if you're interested in a relationship with someone, actually speaking to the actual person and loving them and caring about them as a person and thinking, you know, like, time is precious. You know, like that entrepreneur guy, he made more time for me during his, like, 7 days a week working, 30 staff under him, really busy as hell. He's won a Forbes award, which is incredible. And he made more time for me and knew more about me in some deep ways than the other Pakistani guy that's meant to really be interested in a relationship with me, you know? So that just goes to show you who is really interested in me. Like, clearly the Pakistan guy's not really interested in a relationship, despite what he says. So, and anyway, I wouldn't be with someone like that who can't, you know, fulfill my intellectual needs and who doesn't have intellectual deep mean conversation flowing and doesn't, you know, it doesn't really want to be in my life as much, you know. I can be with that type of person. They're not good enough for me. You know, I deserve better. I deserve someone who's going to be deeply into me, who's going to be like caring about me, who's going to be wanting to spend time with me, who's going to be wanting to make me a priority, someone's going to want to actually put time, energy and effort in rather than just the basics, someone who's just going to be really, really like into Sandra, you know? And do I believe it's possible? Of course I believe it's possible. I believe it could even be possible with a guy who's not asexual. I think obviously preferably it'd be someone who's asexual. But I was thinking the other day, is my mission is kind of to bring asexuals and sexuals together in terms of like getting asexuality recognised as a sexual orientation throughout the globe, so that no asexual has to live in fear of ridicule ever again. I was thinking maybe the guy's going to be sexual after all. He's not going to be asexual, because that kind of would make sense of the fact that I'm bringing two different orientations together. But, you know, like, usually I prefer an asexual guy because, you know, they in general tend to be better. They don't need sex, you know, for a start. But, you know, if I can't find the right asexual guy for me, I'll think and consider being with an Indian sexual guy if he could live without sex. But it'd have to be someone who's really genuinely doesn't need it and who maybe is really spiritual and into entrepreneurship and maybe sees life in a different way, sees there's more to life than sex, and he'd rather be with a beautiful soul and gorgeous girl and who's lively, bubbly, energetic, kind, caring, super intelligent, despite being having a disability, is still smiling, you know, who would see me in that light? And who would just be like, God, I just love her personality. She's full of energy, full of life. She's super special. She works her butt off for what she believes in. She's just such a warm, kind and caring, loving girl, and I just want to be with her. You know, I believe there is a guy out there that could do that with me and could just like not be interested in other women because they just wouldn't be good enough for him. I'd be the right one for him and he'd only love me, you know? And, you know, and he'd be like, nope, that's my girl. Like, there's no comparison with anyone else. I just want Sandra. And yeah, I mean, I love me, you know, I really love being with me. I love my bubbliness. I love my energy. I love the fact that the majority of time, you know, like I'm consistently trying to look at positives, like even things that look really bad, I'm trying to turn into like, you know, positive situations. And, you know, and I do tell my truth though. I don't say everything's hunky-dory. I'm not like going, oh yeah, my ankle, broken ankle's really great. Thanks, you know, I'm saying like, you know, it's tearing today. I'm having a bad day today in terms of it tearing. But I still saw one of my best friends today who was looking after me, was cooking for me, cleaning, did the shopping. We actually went out for lunch today. I paid for their lunch because they've just been helping me so much and paying for their own travel to come over and see me and stuff. And we were out in Nando's and it's so nice, you know. But, you know, life is too short to like waste it on people that don't care about you. Do you know what I mean? There's no point. So it's much better to spend time with people who love, respect, care about you, like you for who you are, and who see the good in you, right? Like, I see the good in me. I see, like, wow. Like, considering, like, because if you don't know what fibromyalgia is, it's a chronic pain condition that affects the nerves and muscles of the body. People don't have energy with it. I have a lot of energy, right? I'm bright, I'm bubbly, I'm an energetic girl, you know? That's not normal for fibro people. So I just, you know, love being me. I love the fact that I talk a lot. I love it. Some people are not so into that. But God, I love it. I mean, I would be so bored out of my brain if I wasn't bubbly, energetic, talkative Sandra. I'd be sat there like a lemon bored all the time, you know? Because for me, talking's an art form and it's so beautiful and it's so alive. You know, like if you talk monotone, so if you're like, hello, how are you? I'm fine, thanks. How are you? That's just so boring. But if you actually up and down your tones, I used to do radio presenting, voluntary radio presenting years. Then if you up and down your tones, it actually gives you a more vibrancy energy if you're upping and downing like this. Woohoo, you know? And especially if you like, you know, add some zest and like woohoo into what you're doing, you know? Into the way you speak. So, you know, I just love me. I do get bored very easily, but not with myself. Like in terms of I just love my personality. I'm like so attracted to my personality. I'm like, it's just far out, crazy, quirky, different. It's awesome. So, you know, I need a guy who's going to see me like I see me. And he's going to think, wow, she's just incredible. I cannot get bored with her because she's just like, she's just such a quirky girl that's different. And just like, I have never met anyone like her in my life, you know? I mean, I don't get to bed at normal times. I just live such a different life with sparkly things and coloured boxes and cuddly toys and all the sex, marriage and kids stuff is just really not for me. I like to live on my own as well, you know. I don't want the normal kind of robotic life when you come home from work and just, you know, watch TV and go to bed. It's not for me. I've had that life in the past. And for some people, they just like that routine and it's good for them. For me, it's like, oh, please no. Right? I like to be blogging, vlogging, training, teaching people things, educating. I do like watching dance movies with younger foreign guys, particularly Indian. And I do like writing and I like thinking of new ideas, being creative. And I just love that, you know, I love that life. I love that part of me. And I need a guy who's going to be really into me. So yeah, I haven't found my guy yet. But the more I'm in Indian groups, the more I feel like I'm meant to be with an Indian guy, the more I can kind of smell him and feel like a leather jacket you might wear and feel his essence and presence and aura. You know, the more I feel at home when I'm in Indian groups and around Indian guys and talk to them, the more I feel like that's my home, like I'm meant to be with Indian people. So it's really strange, but in a good way. Anyway, I'm going to love you, leave you for now. But if you're a person who does need intellectual stimulation, don't settle for second best. As that Indian guy said to me, don't accept 1% less than you deserve. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. Anyway, until next time, embrace your quirky, embrace your inner ace, and I'll see you on the next video. Lots of love. Take care. Bye-bye.